Don't miss your chance to win big every week on The Zone. This week on Win Ticket Wednesday, you can win tickets to see Toto, Men at Work, and Christopher Cross at the Utah First Credit Union Amphitheater, August 27th. Listen to The Zone all day Wednesday for your chance to win. DJ PK, and we're joined now by Kevin Graham. Kevin, good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen. Do you realize that I have been to 5 Taylor Swift concerts in my lifetime? I apparently am now a Swiftie, so good to know. So I'm glad you're honoring her today. Yeah.
Her 35th,
and I have spent
35th birthday.
Oh, is that all? Is she 35 now?
She's 35 today. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I've spent thousands of dollars on that individual. And by the way, my daughters, they're 25 now, have their own jobs. They're kind of, they lean definitely to the socialist level of life, like a younger generation does. And I remind them daily that the biggest capitalist on earth is their queen, Taylor Swift. She can do no wrong. Like the amount of she's like a marketing genius. She made $2 billion in her concerts. So I remind them daily of that, and they have realized that is the case, but still support her. So good times. How are things? You guys did not have a busy week at all this week,
no.
did you? Like
nothing going
to talk
on.
About.
She's 35, or as Bill Belichick says, old maid.
There you go. You realize, though, that once Bill, maybe this is a lesson to all of us, that once Bill started dating his 24-year-old girlfriend, he became human. You know what I mean? Like he actually seemed to have a sense of humor, and now is just full of life at the age of 72. So I don't know. I don't know what the lesson learned there, but something's going on. But I would never, guys. If I would have told you before the season started that Bill Belichick is going to be a head coach in college football, I mean, there's no way. Like it's just this year has just been whacked, man. Just between college, pro football, everything going on. BYU now is like a mercenary basketball program. Like I mean. Everything. I don't know what's going on. Forget about
it's capitalism, baby. It's capitalism. Everybody is embracing their inner Taylor Swift.
No. What are you talking about, man? AJ Bastanza, he came here to get trained. What are you talking about capitalism?
Forget about global warming as our biggest threat to society. Something's just going on out there. It's like crazy.
How do you dismiss the connection that he has with Kevin Young, and he's there dancing with the students, and you make it sound like he's bought and paid for? Shame on you.
I think he was going to get $7 million wherever he went to school.
Right, and so he chose to be trained by Kevin Young.
Yes, and if they'd been able to offer $7 million all along, some players might have, maybe Jabari Parker would have chose to be trained by Dave Rose.
What does that mean?
Exactly what I said. Yock knows he's laughing. I don't understand. Kevin's laughing. They got it.
Big deal. You mocked BYU and insinuated that they bought a player. They didn't buy a player. He wants to be trained by BYU. And Yock and Yock's kids and his mother, they can laugh all the hell they want. What difference does it make?
Kevin Durant,
$7 million.
Yeah.
$7 million from a school. Again, let's fit this. I mean, the church, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints sponsored school is paying $7 million to an 18-year-old kid.
That's not exactly true.
Well,
about half of
they're allowing it. They're allowing it to
allowing
happen.
it. Yes, absolutely allowing it. Yeah, about half the money is coming from people. I mean, Nike was going to give him a check wherever he went to school. Kansas, Bama, Carolina, whatever.
And then Ryan Smith involved, obviously, which I know
I think there's some other boosters. He's obviously leading the parade, but I don't think he's
I hear PK might be funding some things, with the money he's made over the years. So
PK's funding his golf. That's what PK's funding. He's focused.
This kid chose to put his future in the hands of Kevin Young.
I know.
On the
You're
advice
now
of
becoming
Kevin
a mercenary. One and done school now. I mean, this is what BYU is going to become, like a one and done school. Look, on one end,
you need a mix.
Well, I know, but on one end, it's brilliant by the school because look at the amount of publicity they've gotten, which in turn gives publicity to the church. So on that end of things, I totally get it. But I mean, now you're going down this one and done alley where you're just going to become an MBA feeding program, which great, but. I mean, let's see how many titles they win. They're going to need more than one kid, I mean, and I know he's got some others that are going to be good too. His team will be decent, but I don't know. It just seems to be everything against what BYU has stood for all these years. But at the same time, like we opened with this, the whole world's off its axis right now. So I guess this is the way it's going to be. Good times.
College sports has changed. You either change with it or you don't play big time college sports. Those are your options.
No, I agree. I don't fault BYU. Yeah. I don't fault them. I mean, in one end, I don't fault them. But, man, is this just so different than the BYU that I spent 3 different times covering. It's definitely but here's the thing about college sports now is, and this, I guess, is the thing that just, man, I guess, I'm old man, railing here, but it's just a farce now. I mean, the one thing I don't ever want to hear anymore out of college athletics is student athlete. I don't ever want to hear about developing young men. It's not developing young men for the world. It's developing young men and women to be pro athletes. It's no longer a higher institution of learning and taking care of these kids. I mean, Devonta's going to go to one class and be able to keep his elevation. I mean, and that one class will probably be like, Gym 101. I mean, give me a break. The whole thing is a joke. It's a moneymaker now. Athletics is a moneymaker for schools, and that's fine. That's the world we're in. But don't give me this higher education and kids, and we're modeling these kids to join the real world and all that. No, it doesn't exist anymore. It's a huge business. It's college professional athletes now, and that's just the world we're in. And I guess we have to accept it and move along. But it's bad. It's different.
That's us on multiple fronts, and set BYU aside because they're church-sponsored private school. But you look at all the public state schools. People don't want their taxes to go up to pay for them. The schools have to become self-sufficient. They are a business. Now they don't have shareholders, at least not yet in the traditional sense. Keep hearing about people are going to buy athletic programs and private equity is going to come in, so maybe that'll change soon. But right now, they've got to go out, and whether it's researchers getting patents that they can make money off of or getting massive donations, they've more and more they have to fund themselves. I mean, they're all still getting state money, but I think by percentage that's decreasing over time.
Yeah, no,
and it's a decades-long trend. Yeah. It's just the dam is broken in college sports the last couple of years.
Oh no, and it sucks though. I mean, they have to get it together where players aren't, and not take the Ponza aside. I mean, you're always going to have guys that are going to play 1 year of college. Honestly, they need to get rid of that rule. Just if the players want to go pro, let them go pro. I mean, I don't understand the 1 year thing. Honestly, I think that might help college sports if they can get rid of that and some of this, and then maybe programs can be built again. Yeah, maybe the game won't be as good, overall, but maybe it would be better because at least these players would be together for 4 years like the good old days. But overall, to me, it's just it's not. You make complete sense, DJ, but it just doesn't make sense. I mean, college athletics is pro sports now, but pro sports that's even worse than pro sports, where these kids can come in 1 year and leave, or and look at like half the Utah.
Why is that worse? I don't get why that's so bad.
You can't build a program, man. Like, I mean,
nobody cares about that.
So you want players shuffling in and out every single year.
As long as you win, if your team wins, yes.
Yeah. All right.
Yes. And this college
coming
football
from ASU guy now, yes.
Playoff stuff, it's going to go through the roof.
Yeah, all there's no doubt.
Longing for the old days is every generation. And there'll be in 50 years, oh, man, back in the 20s, it was awesome. I mean, get over that. And I've been a beat writer for many, many years. The kids have been getting money for decades.
Well,
how many times have I said, DJ, questions for the student athletes? Well before this stuff.
Yeah, you hated that.
Nothing.
You hated
but
that
players couldn't move every year, though. Players are moving
and if your team
every
wins,
year.
So
can I go
coaches.
pick you up? Yeah, Bronco.
Okay.
He
All
just
right.
screwed over New Mexico. Let's call
He
it
did.
like it is. He goes there, gives them hope, not only leaves, takes all of his coaches, and the best players leave.
Oh, yeah.
And if New
good for
Mexico
Utah
can
on that.
hire somebody who's on the come and does the same thing from some big sky place,
They'll
and
do
then
it.
they win 6-7 games
do
next
it.
year, it'll be awesome.
Yep. And if that breaks NAU's heart, what do they care?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, great. It's again back to what I said: mercenaries. That's what it is. It's capitalism and
my gosh,
yep.
Kevin Graham
God bless
is
the USA.
bleeping about mercenaries, and he took 15 jobs.
All right, don't personalize that. All right, I can't deny that. All right, fine, you win. All right, what's next?
You miss what was because you enjoyed what was, but it's not going to be like that. But you can still go to a stadium with friends and watch a good game and cheer and see some dude make a one-handed catch or whatever. Great. All right.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
The athletes are better than ever and create more excitement than ever. Yeah. But it's okay. Fine.
I'm ready to see Indiana play Notre Dame in a playoff game. There's no chance I thought that was going to happen or I could have ever predicted that was going to happen. But play for the Indiana State Championship. I'll be in front of the TV watching. Make it happen. Let's go. Let's go.
No, we will. And by the way, what do you see them talking about this last week? That what we've been talking about, it seems like every week, is, maybe we need to expand the playoff now.
Oh, they're going to expand it. Can I bet on that? Is that on the board in Wendover? Let's go.
Yeah, but Bama and Miami would have got in then if they go to 14. But then it's going to go to 16. I mean, it's going to keep going. I mean, they got to figure it out. Yes.
If Bama and Miami get in, and under the current format, that means the 3 and 4 seeds would host games. If Bama has to go to Boise State, I say get rid of the buys. I want to see that. I want to see that. I'll drive to Boise and pay to get in. I want to see Bama go to Boise State. They would never do that. If the playoff makes them do that, I'm disappointed it's not 14 teams. Let's go.
Yeah.
Miami at ASU. Sign me up. Let's go.
Well, they're going to go to 16. If they went to 16 this time, you'd have Bama, Miami, Ole Miss, and South Carolina get in. Ultimately, that's what they're going to do. So just go to that and do that. No, it's great, but now look at it. Everybody's up in arms now about the seeding, and and honestly, DJ, you're right. We'll all watch. But there's a chance that Notre Dame's is going to blow them out. I mean, and there's a chance that Texas, is going to blow out Clemson. I mean, and Penn State has actually got the easiest route in this playoff now, at least on paper, because they got SMU, and then they'll play Boise State if they can win that game. In the meantime, the number 1 seed, Oregon, has on paper at least the toughest road to play because they're going to have to play the possibly Texas. So it's. I don't know. On one end, you're right, but they still need to fix some things, and that's where college football doesn't have any common sense to fix things.
Well, yeah, fix what? Fix making more money?
What?
No, well, I don't know. And here we are discussing about it. The more publicity, the better. Locke, who anything that's a threat to the NBA, he doesn't like, so he comes on earlier and he asks us about, are these going to be a big dud if they're going to be a blowout, as opposed to watching the New Mexico Bowl at that time? I mean, come on.
Well, the New Mexico Bowl still exists, so we're still So,
but now we don't have to pay attention to it because we can watch the playoff games. Who cares what the score is? It's all about TV ratings.
Yes, and to lead to that, then I'll roll with you guys on this. And I actually saw this on Twitter. I think, some sports pundit put it out there. Wouldn't it be cool if we had an NIT for football? So why don't we go to that too? So now you'll have 2 tournaments going. Well, no, the Bulls don't get – no, put a tournament together so then whoever wins – so you'll have a winner of the NIT. So now if you did that, BYU would get a bye in that.
Yeah, so we'll see more SEC teams play.
Well, no, you won't. BYU would be one of the top seeds if they had an NIT this time around.
Right. Vanderbilt and BYU. Who's going?
That idea? You guys are all over the place today.
No, that's what it would be. I'm with you. More SEC teams would get in, and either Vanderbilt or maybe Georgia Tech out of the ACC. One of those,
Ole Miss.
Yeah, Ole Miss. Yeah, they'd have to go play BYU. And what would we do?
We'd
all go watch
that.
it.
Those are the other bowls.
Yeah, they are.
That's just not in a tournament form.
Right.
I want to watch. I would watch Colorado play BYU no matter when they played.
Yeah.
Whether it's an NIT, it's a bowl game, or it's a regular season game. I'm jacked for that game. So we already got that.
Okay. So in your guys' mind, everything's just great. Let's just roll with what's going on.
No, but I've accepted it. It's not like it's brand new. Nothing is perfect except a perfect stranger.
It's 2 different things.
Well,
it's not perfect,
never perfect,
but it is great. Yeah. It is great. SMU, who's been kicked out of the club for 30 years, gets to go play at Penn State and show if they belong or not. That's entertaining. I'll watch that game. And maybe Penn State's going to win by 40 and prove that league just isn't good and SMU isn't good and go away, ACC. If that's how it plays out, that's how it plays out. But I'd rather have the game than not.
Okay, good. But then can we stop? This is where this argument started, referring to these kids as student athletes and all that crap.
They never
that
have been.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
nothing has changed there.
You can argue that kids are pros at 14 and 15 when they're traveling the country, going to all these games and camps, and AAU kids flying all over the place. If you're at the elite level. So it is what European soccer was when they signed 14-year-olds, and we all thought, I can't believe you signed a 13-year-old.
Cardale Jones said, I didn't go to Ohio State to play school.
He was right.
It used to be they would fake it, though. They would fake it. Now they don't even fake it.
That was years ago. He didn't make that statement under NIL.
BYU is going to give me the best chance to go to the NBA next year, my next year.
Yes.
Seriously?
Yes. Bastanza's job is to play basketball. It's not to get a sociology degree.
Yeah, that's going to be his life. He's going to play for 10 or 20 years.
Yeah. I'm so happy I signed on to be lectured by you two every Friday.
We're not being lectured. You yelled at us and we're telling you you're wrong. I asked PK. I was ready to ask you Bills and Lions, Steelers and Eagles. You don't want to go down this road.
That was a great line.
Oh, man. No. Yeah, NFL is messed up, too, but in a good way. Like, you know,
the
that's
NFL
legit.
Messed up?
How the NFL messed up? The NFL, well, it's messed up in a good way because these competitive games. Look at last night. You know, here you got a team, the Rams, who put up 44 points on the Bills a week ago, and then 4 days later, you know, they can only get 4 field goals and win 12-6. Granted, there was weather in the first half. Look at the Niners, a Super Bowl favorite to begin the season. They're 6-8, not going to make the playoffs more than likely. And you got to, you know, and they have their big win last week offensively against Chicago, put up over 30 points. Then they have a wide receiver that complains. You know, Brock Purdy's off. Last night they have a player that quits in the game and just leaves the field. That's like the ultimate no-no. You can't. I mean, you can do pretty much anything.
I know. That's why we're. You can do anything why we're here. Field. That's why we're here. We only come to this place for one reason: to play football. This place stands empty the rest of the time. We don't even practice here. Now we're here. Let's play. I don't want to. What are you doing?
I know, and that's like the one no. Like, I hate to say it, but you know, dudes can go out there and commit heinous crimes, you know, and next thing you know, and the team will welcome them back with open arms once they serve their suspension or whatever the case might be. But man, if you quit on them during a game, you're out. Like, you're done. And rightfully so, because that's his job. Like, you know, what if you guys in the middle of the show go, yep, I'm not going to do the show anymore, and you just walk off? Like, how do you think Bonneville's going to respond to that? Not well.
Bye-bye.
So, yeah, exactly.
Man.
But it's good. But no, the NFL has really been great this year. Like, and I don't know if you guys saw this, and I think this is like the coolest kind of graphic I saw, and this tells you how great the NFL is in a lot of ways, is if one possession games, and did you guys see this? One possession games had the opposite result.
Yeah,
what would be the record of all these teams? Yeah, and so don't ruin it if PK hasn't seen it. Who would be the one seeds right now in the AFC and NFC if it was the opposite result on one possession games? You want to guess?
Cincinnati.
Nope. Denver Broncos would be this is from last week, 11-2. The Denver Broncos would be the one seed. Cincinnati would be number 2 at 10-2, followed by Buffalo. Then Jacksonville would be 8-4 on one possession games. Chargers would be 8-4. Baltimore 8-5, and my New York Jets would be getting into the playoffs with a 7-5 record. And guess who would be last in the AFC and have the worst record in the NFL if one possession games were different? This is an easy one, actually. All the close games.
Yeah, the Chiefs.
Yeah, they'd be 2-10. And that, to me, Tampa Bay is 8-4. They would have the top seed. Chicago 8-4. Washington 8-5. San Francisco now would be 8-5 and getting in. New Orleans, Giants, Lions. Those would be your playoff teams. Like, that tells me how great this league is, because the parity factor, and maybe to your guys' point, college football is going to get to this as well because of the transfer portal, and teams, can be better now because they can get better athletes that don't like where they are, or the coach pisses them off, or whatever the case might be. But it just tells you how great this league is. Like it's crazy. But the crazy to think that like, the two favorites in the Super Bowl would be Denver and Tampa Bay right now, if they would just get an extra bounce here and there. And the Chiefs, if they wouldn't get a bounce, like doinking off the field goal last weekend, or getting the field goal, doinking off the goalpost, would be the worst team in the NFL. So to your guys, but that to me is pretty cool. Like, that just tells you how great that league is. And I do, and at least the NFL is on board. The NFL is not sitting here. Going, well, these guys are great gentlemen that were training to be financial advisors when they're done with their football career. We're not getting any of that crap. I mean, it's pro football. They're being paid to play. That's their profession. So anyway,
I hear your frustration. I get it. I hear your, what you would say, talking out of both sides or whatever. Understood. Yeah. But I'm cynical to where the point I already knew that existed anyway.
Yeah. No, that's true. But, maybe part of my cynicism too is that, the other five, the smaller programs, they don't have a shot really at all. I mean, they can get good players, that are discarded and maybe can't get better deals, with bigger schools or whatever the case might be. But they're just kind of, if you look at the underdog, and now, and back in the day, and I don't know if fans remember this, but BYU and Utah used to be the ones outside looking in, and now I know you've joined the rich and in the elite now, and you're sipping your cocktails and eating your caviar now at the big table. But schools like mine, Central Michigan University, is getting completely screwed, and we have no hope whatsoever at anything. So I don't know.
Changed,
maybe that's part of my bitterness.
Been getting screwed, and that no hope for that the big time.
Well, but we would find good players, and then those good players would stay with. Antonio Brown is a perfect example. Before he lost his mind with CTE and everything else in the NFL, he played for Central Michigan, and he stayed with Central Michigan for 3 years, I think he did, before he went to the draft. And those are the players at those smaller schools. The Utah States, the Broncos going to have to is going to try to develop and whatnot. I mean, those schools, at least we used to get good players. Now you get a good player, that player's gone in a year. And there's a part of me, and maybe you guys have talked about this, I'm just throwing crap against the wall now, but there's been a part of me that maybe these smaller schools or the other five should be feeder systems and literally do contractual deals with the bigger schools. Like Central Michigan University could do a contractual deal with the University of Michigan. And what that means is Michigan, when they're trying to recruit all these players, maybe there's some players they really like, but they know that they can't, pay them the big money or whatever, so they'll put them in the farm system at Central Michigan. And then Central Michigan will get better players because of that. And then, the players are leaving anyway, so then after a year, when Michigan wants that player back, they pull them up. Utah State could be affiliated with Utah. BYU could be affiliated with, I guess, UNLV or Utah Tech. Are they even D1 at this point? So, I mean, I don't know. There's got to be more changes, I think, to make this a little fair for all involved, just because, again, it's college football.
I'm just curious here. Did you sign up with this to get lectured by us ever, or is this like a therapy session and you just need to come in and let it all out?
I think a therapy session is actually probably more along that line.
Capri Sun at the end, and an apple slice.
And Central Michigan will go to the Rose Bowl.
My gosh!
Yeah, give us a shot. Well, we do have a shot, I guess.
College
literally,
football
I guess
now
we win our
reflects
division.
the world.
Yeah, I know. All right, so DJ, then. All right, another question that I'm venting about then, as we go back to the NFL. Why do we have the Bills, Lions, and Steelers, Philly both playing 125 games? Why? And we have the crappiest lineup of
11
early games.
Yeah, early games are bad.
11 a.m. Your guys' time, 225 for And, I mean, we literally have actually three good games in the late afternoon slot if you add in Tampa Bay and the Chargers. So why is not one of those games select? And why do we have Bears, Vikings, and Falcons, Raiders as two crappy Monday Night Football games when you have all these other great games, particularly three really good games going on at the same time in the afternoon? Help me, TV guy, on this, and all your fans.
NFL screwed it up. I don't know. I've heard multiple people complain about this weekend that they put too many good games at the same time, and the Bills and Lions shouldn't be playing in the late window. It's Detroit. It ought to be an early game. And the Chargers, Bucks, and the Broncos, Colts are good enough. Make them late games.
Mm-hmm.
And, Whatever
So anyway,
chance, it's like an elimination weekend for the Colts. They're in or out, and the Broncos can pretty much punch their ticket. So.
Yeah, no.
And the Battle of Pennsylvania, and why is that in the late window? I know, I get it. I don't know. I don't have good answers for you.
Right.
They don't flex Monday night games. That's one thing, and they do that for season ticket holders. So I guess that's why Monday has gone the way it's gone.
So you're not so in the Salt Lake City market again, trying to help your listeners out right now.
Oh, it's,
what game do they get in the afternoon? Late afternoon game.
It's the Eagles and Steelers on Fox, and I think it's going to be the Broncos and the Colts on CBS.
Oh, okay.
I know.
All right. Yeah, that's awful.
I know.
So now
no
you're going to have to dish out
lions.
money for the ticket. Yeah, I know. So, I got the NFL ticket, so I'll be fine. But still, fix that too.
When they put games like
else?
that head to head, the phone's going to ring no matter which game you put on. People are going to complain because there's absolutely somebody wants to see the other one, and that's the way it goes.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and by the way, my last question for you guys, I guess, you're right. I'm in a venting mood. I actually started this in a really good mood. So with announcing his return for the 21st season, he said earlier that he'd do what's best for the program. Mm-hmm. So here's the question. Is that really best for the program?
Well, I guess we won't know the answer.
Because he just had a season bad.
We won't really know the answer until we see wins, losses, why he said that.
Yeah.
I don't think he gets up there and randomly says stuff. I think he said it and he had a specific reason and backstory in his mind, and he has not shared what that is. I've tried to figure out what it is and floated theories past PK, and he swatted most of them away.
Of course.
The ones, I know. But it wasn't on the air. He just walking to the car, so I was like, and I did. And I said, is there a chance that he's got two offensive coordinator candidates out there, and one of them might say, hey, I'm coming if you're there because I want to learn from you and work for you. But is there another one who's saying, whoa, wait, I'm going to come and work for you, but then in a year, that guy, and that just doesn't feel right. I need some stability. Yeah. What's really going on? And so I wonder if there's something like that was driving this. But he hasn't said. He clearly didn't want to go into it that day. That was as far as he was willing to go down that road. He didn't want to spell it all out.
Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, the only fear again, he's got a great legacy, but if he doesn't get it turned around, and there's a legitimate chance that he won't, because it's just a different era and a different world now. I mean, what are you going to do? Is he going to come back and do another year? Does he have ultimate say now from here on out that, and for Ute fans' sakes, I hope he does turn it around. And I think if he does, I think he's more likely to be done because then he can go out on a really good note. But the fact, I was looking at all the players they've lost and trying to bring players in, but they did get their quarterback. I like that kid. He does need some work from a passing standpoint. His completion percentage wasn't very good. But man, if you look at I was looking at all the box scores of the games or whatever, when that kid is running the ball, whoa! He runs. He takes off and he gains crazy yards and he seems to be more successful at that. My only concern with that is particularly now as he steps up in conference is health. And Utah better go find a backup quarterback that can complement him in case there's some health issues involved. So,
well, now we've done 2 segments, Kevin. It's been a good half hour. You're the man.
Where's PK? PK still there? Did he go to the bathroom or something in the middle of this?
He's absorbing your greatness. I'm looking at his phone. Yak's been trying to get us to go to break for 15 minutes. So PK's like, well, I better not say anything else because I'll just trigger Kevin for 5 more minutes. Do you think you can wind him up for 5 minutes right now if I gave you 10 seconds?
Yes.
And he knows he shouldn't do it because we're way late to break. This is PK being disciplined.
He pokes. Yeah.
Hey, all right. Thank you, Kevin.
Hey, guys. Love you. Have a great weekend, and talk to you next week.
All right. Talk to you then, Kevin. DJ and PK, it's 97.5 The Zone. We really better go to break. We're right back with everything you missed in this show. On the other side, stay with us.